Hey everybody, I am back with another video. It's been a little bit of time. I'm currently back at my house here in Las Vegas in the United States. No longer in Italy. I had an amazing, I think it was about 6 weeks in Italy, traveling around from Tivoli to Rome and to Ostia, the beach, Ostia Antica, traveling all around in the middle of Italy and by car, just going on a road trip and checking out all of the wine country and all of the hills. And it was just absolutely so beautiful. And there's really no place like it on earth. It was such a pleasure to be able to spend so much time there. And so yeah, as all of you know, if you've been watching my previous videos, I'm a big fan of Italy. I have a lot of Italian blood in me, and my goal is to try to move to Italy. More specifically, I have been trying to move to Rome, and I'm going to explain in this video what is going on with me in my life and what the process has been looking like for me to get from Las Vegas to Rome. So, yeah, if you're interested in moving abroad to Italy, if you live in the United States, if you live, anywhere else in the world, and you're trying to obtain a visa from Italy to live there as a resident or just on an extended visa, type D visa, then this video might be interesting for you. Some of you might just be interested in my journey, and if you've seen my other videos, you've seen a little bit of an explanation for me about some stressful details that I've encountered in trying to relocate. I've been dealing with a lot of bureaucratic issues and roadblocks and speed bumps, and the like, trying to figure out a way to get from the United States to Italy legally, of course. So, yeah, if you've seen my other videos, you can understand a little bit more about my process, but I won't really go into that here. The backstory, but yeah, I want to share today on the progress that's coming along with me for me. So, in my last video, I believe it was my last video, I explained that when I was in Italy, I was going on job interviews, and these interviews were for teaching um, English language in Italy, live and online. And I had actually succeeded in getting a job. Um, it was with a company that was going to be online, and it was going to be teaching English to students who have learning disabilities. I think it was specifically for dyslexia. And so it was really cool to interview for this. I ended up getting the job because it would have been really rewarding because the interviewer was telling me that by the time that the teachers are finished with their lesson plans for the students actually have completely overcome their dyslexia. So I thought that was like such a cool cause and like such an amazing way to like give back to the community and to really have a meaningful career. So I was all into it. I decided that I was going to take the job, and then yeah, I'm going to explain a little bit about why that isn't happening right now. And it could be a little bit long-winded and not really that useful or interesting, but I've decided that I'm going to go in a different direction. And but I did get this job, and it was going to be like I could teach online for 6 months and then build up my online digital nomad business and then apply for this digital nomad visa in Italy in 6 months. And so, yeah, like I said, if you want to move to Italy and you're interested in understanding the different types of visas that can be granted to you, the digital nomad visa is one of the easiest visas to obtain. Also, the study visa is the other easiest one to obtain. Um, but you need to make $35,000 a year online with your business over a period of 6 months. And so I was going to work on this and excuse me, and build up my business. And then in 6 months, I was going to apply for the digital nomad visa. So things have changed. A lot has actually changed. And I've recently come back to the United States, and I've realized that, let's see, where do I even begin? So, what has changed for me is instead of going to pursue the digital nomad visa, you know, I've been trying to get on the Italian consulate website here in the United States to get an appointment. And this has been my initial goal. This entire time, it's been like over 6 months that I've been trying to get an appointment online. And the appointment is to get fingerprinted and to get into the system and to for the consulate to accept your application for this long-term visa. And then you can move to Italy and stay for an extended amount of time once you apply within your own country. So you have to come back home, you have to go through the paperwork and the bureaucracy, and then you can get a different visa. As you enter into Italy, you can stay there longer. So this was my initial goal, and it has just been impossible to get an appointment with the Los Angeles Italian consulate. So um, I've been having three tabs open on my computer permanently. One of the first tabs is the Los Angeles Italian consulate. And every single day at 3 p.m., I guess it was written on the website, you're supposed to check to see if you can get an appointment because the system refreshes every day at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm like, okay, every day I'm gonna like check 3 p.m. There's never anything open. It's been months, and people always complain that you cannot get an appointment. It takes years to get an appointment. So I've had this second tab open, which is the honorary consulate in Phoenix, Arizona. And this also serves the Las Vegas area. So you can go to Los Angeles or you can go to Arizona if you are a student in Arizona. And so luckily, I go to Arizona State University online. I live in Las Vegas. And I've been going to ASU for 5 years now online. And I was checking every single day to see if there's an appointment on the Arizona consulate website. Same thing, checking for 6 months and like nothing. There's also the San Diego Italian consulate. So these two are honorary consulates for the Los Angeles hub, which is like the biggest one serving the West Coast. So I've been, pretty much I had just given up on checking for an appointment. I mean, I would do it sporadically, but I wasn't doing it every single day like I was in the beginning, like a crazy person checking like 2 minutes before 3 o'clock. We gotta like get onto the websites and like try to have all these windows open and try to like be the first one in case there's an opening. You gotta be there, you gotta be ready. Like it's on my phone open, it's on my two computers open. So I'm like, going a little crazy with it because it's that difficult. And it takes years. This process I've heard takes years, which, you know, none of us really have that kind of time, especially if it's something that we really want and we're banking on and we're making, calculated moves in our life to go after these goals. So I get back from Italy. It's like a miracle. I get back from Italy and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I was in Italy for 6 weeks. I can hang out at my house for a little bit in the United States. I'm cool with it. Like my cup was full. And if you know anything about manifestation, that's like the first step is like when your cup is full and you don't want or need anything, that's when like miracles happen, right? Not when you're like striving to make things happen. You have 20, desktop windows open and you're like in stress mode. Things don't really fall into place like that. So I get back home and I'm relaxed and I'm happy. My heart's full. And it's Sunday, and Sunday at 3 p.m. is the time when you're supposed to look to make an appointment. And so I'm pretty committed still at this point, even though I have decided to take this job and pursue the digital nomad visa in 6 months. I mean, I had already accepted the position. So I get home, it's Sunday, I'm on the website, and for some reason, I decided to read like the fine print. I think maybe it was just like open on my screen and I wasn't like in a hurry to like, wasn't watching the clock and like trying to make things happen or whatever. It was just kind of like open and in a very relaxed manner, just was like browsing through the fine print. And the it's interesting to me. It's almost like they want you to try a little bit harder. They don't make it easy for you. So if you really want something, it's almost like they make you jump through the hoops, but it's accessible if you really want it. And what I saw, I had never seen before, probably because I was overwhelmed with other things or whatever. But when I was reading on the website, what I was going to say was it's not this beautiful, manicured, aesthetically pleasing website. It's like written in 10-point font. It's like there's no paragraphs. It's just straight text. And like a lot of it's in like light pink, so you can like barely read it. It's in like fuchsia pink, and it's kind of abrasive on your eyes. But for some reason, I was able to like see these two lines just like stood out to me, and it was like um if you're applying for, and it's like this big, if you're applying for a study visa, do not apply to this calendar because this calendar is no longer in service. And I remember thinking like what? Like the calendar isn't in service and why is it even up on the page, you know? Like that doesn't make any sense. And it says like in big huge type at the top like calendar for, all visa purposes, check back at 3 p.m. like all these instructions. But in the fine print, it says this calendar is like BS. If you want to apply for a study visa, then you need to apply to this itty bitty email address and include this information. And like I had never seen that before. So, and it was in like hot pink against white, like you could barely read it. So, anyway, I went ahead and followed the instructions and it said, if you apply to the calendar, if you actually do get an appointment and you do want to apply for a study visa, you have to go through this email. But if you actually make an appointment on the calendar, we will not accept your email because you didn't follow the instructions. And I was like, "Oh my God, like they really are making it for people who are like, I don't know, you almost have to like really want it." If you can kind of understand like what I'm getting at here, the gist of what I'm getting at, they make it complicated. So I was like, okay, thank God I didn't like apply for an appointment because I would have missed my opportunity to like write this person on the email. So I followed all the directions on the email. I included like, proof that that I'm going to Arizona State University and like the school that has accepted me because I had been in correspondence with this language school in Italy to learn Italian language full time. You can get a study visa that way. So I had been contacting all these places months before, like 6 months ago, to try to get information on how to get a study visa because I heard that the language schools are the easiest way to do it. Like you don't have to apply for university, blah, blah, blah. And they're way cheaper, is what I heard. So I look back in my email. Sorry, it's getting a little bit bright over here. The sun is coming through. Um, it's gonna be a beautiful sunset. There's a lot of clouds out. So anyway, let me see if I can move over. So I look back in through my old emails and I found the acceptance letter that I got from this language school in Rome. And so I wrote to the honorary consulate in Arizona. Um, here's Zoe. one of my three babies. So I wrote to the consulate and I said, here's my information, everything that you need. And I'm like, I would like an appointment ASAP because I'm ready to go. Because, I'm thinking it's going to take years to get into the system, right? Lo and behold, I get an email back the next day. It was within 24 hours for sure. And I was like shocked. And this lady was like, we have an opening in 3 days. Can you make it? I was like, oh my God, 3 days. I have to have all this paperwork done in 3 days. And I have that, and it's in Phoenix. So that means I have to get my ass to Phoenix. I have to get all this paperwork. I was like, hell yeah, I can make it because it takes years to get an appointment. So I'm like, just gonna make it happen, right? So yeah, I think I like went back and forth a few times, asking a few questions about like documentation or whatever I'm gonna need and basically there's no fingerprints as of I think it was like April 2025 of this year. If you have a student visa application, you no longer need fingerprints. So that means that's good news. That means I don't have to go to LA to get fingerprinted. I can just go to the Arizona consulate and be done with it. I was like, oh my God, like that's a miracle too. So, I think this was on like a Tuesday, and my appointment was for Friday at 10 in the morning. So, I take the appointment, get as much info as I can, and they're very short. She's like, no more correspondence about this. That's it. I'll see you at the appointment. I was like, okay, cool. So, a couple days goes by, and I wanted to go over all of the requirements of the documents that you need for a study visa, and just to like document like how insane this process actually was and how much of a miracle it actually is that it's happening. Well, relatively speaking, like I have got everything compiled in this short amount of time. It's kind of a miracle. So anyway, this lighting, I wonder if there's a better place that I can sit. Sorry about that, you guys. If it's a little bit irritating, I apologize. Okay, so long story short, I am just trying with everything that I have to get all these documents together in time by Friday. And let me give you a list of the things that they're asking for. So we have a passport or a travel document, which is easy because everybody has that. A valid driver's license, you take a copy, you don't give them like the physical. So you have to like send all this into the consulate in Los Angeles, right? So you gather all these documents, you sign the papers in Arizona, and then you take the packet and you send that to LA. And LA is like the final place that you can get the stamp and get the visa, right? So what they needed for Arizona, passport, driver's license, passport photographs. So you have to go and get your picture taken, and get those little pictures. A letter from your college or university, so that would be in Arizona. Proving that I'm a student in Arizona to be able to use the Arizona consulate. And I had to write or had to make a copy of my curriculum and like that I've studied Italian because you have to have an intermediate level of Italian proficiency to be able to even apply for an Italian language school because like they're not going to teach you from like zero. You have to know like some Italian at an intermediate level to be able to even qualify to get into a language school in Rome. So I had to prove that I've taken courses in Italian, proof of sufficient funds. So you have to go to your bank and get a stamp and a signature from a manager indicating your cash balance, and you have to have more than $6,000, I think it is, in your account for 6 months. So my school is 6 months that I'd be applying for, so you have to have 6 grand. So I had to go to a bank and like prove that I have 6 grand in savings, and then And that was a whole deal because the bank was like, we don't do wet signatures anymore because people have like ruined it for everyone else. Like, so we can give you like a stamp, but we can't like physically sign it. I'm like, well, I hope this freaking works because that's like what they're asking for, you know? Proof of health insurance coverage. So you have to get health insurance from Italy, which was actually super freaking easy and simple because sorry guys. I did not plan. You know what? Maybe I can. Yeah. All right. So, the health insurance from Italy was actually really easy because you can just get it online. And it was super inexpensive too. It was like $100, $150 for a year. It's like cool. Proof of lodging. So you have to get an Airbnb or a lease from a landlord, um, which is a whole process. And this is the thing that took me the longest. Um, and let's see, flight itinerary. You have to buy a round trip flight to and from Italy on the specific days. I'm applying for a 6 month study visa, so that's exactly 6 months. You have to ship yourself out of there. And money order for the handling of this paperwork to the consulate. And you have to have a self-addressed envelope and a prepaid envelope um, so they can send your visa back to you. So if you're missing any of these documents, it's null and void. So uh, yes, it's taken me a long time to get these to get all these documents, but um, so in the beginning, when I had 3 days to get my ass down to Phoenix to apply and get the notary with all my documentation, my passport and everything, and sign it in front of one of these official people, I had maybe 80% of the documents, maybe 75% of the documents. And I was like freaking out because I was like, if I have to send this packet today, I'm not going to be able to send it. I don't have everything. And so she was super cool and she was like, well, you have most of it. And I was like, I can get the rest in like a couple of days, you know? And she goes, okay. So I'm gonna sign this, I'm gonna stamp it, I'm gonna give it to you. And this basically means that you have all your documentation. I'm just gonna go ahead and like sign off for you. I was like, hell yeah, like that's another miracle. They probably do that for everybody, but like for me, I was just like, thank God, I need a little bit more time. So what I didn't have was the Airbnb or the lease. I didn't have the flight, obviously, because like that's like the last thing I was gonna book. And I didn't have let's see, I had the health insurance. I had like pretty much oh yeah, and like for the lease, you have to come up with a down payment. So all in all, I ended up probably spending it was like $7,000. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. You have to pay for the entire school up front. So the entire school for 6 months, uh, full-time language school in Rome, was 5,000, like somewhere right around $5,000. And then I had to pay for the down payment on the apartment, which was $2,300. Um, and then I had to, pay for the insurance and the flight and like all this other little stuff. So yeah, in order to get a study visa, there's like a lot of money that you have to come up with upfront, and that's probably why people are like hesitant to do it, or why it takes years for people to do this, because not only does it take a really long time to get the appointment, it takes a long time to save up. I mean, if you're just like a normal everyday person, like everyone is, it takes a while to save up to be able to afford to pay for school up front. Or if you can put it on your credit card, that's cool, but that's like a substantial amount of money. And then to be able to pay for a down payment. And like I have this house in Vegas, and like I was saying on in my other video, like it's like I'm living two different lives. I have a house and a life that I'm financing here. I have a really nice car here. I have a really nice house here, and I have monthly payments and bills, and I have to I have to upkeep all of this. And then I'm also like spending half my time in Rome and paying for Airbnbs, which are not cheap. And like, the various, things that I have going on in Rome. Um, like dance events and like fun things. So, it's been really expensive. And basically like what I just want the information that I'm trying to share is that it's really not easy, but if you have your heart set on something, then like the universe brings in miracles and you bring in hard work and you and the universe work together and it can manifest. It can happen for you. So, from relaxing enough to be like, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. And then being in that state of mind to be able to just like magically see these two really hard to read, illegible lines on this crazy website that's not aesthetically pleasing at all. Um, just like to happen to just see that, to get the appointment within a week because they had an opening, to get the agent, she was super cool. She's like giving me all this Italian slang. She's like, "Have you heard about this slang?" And I'm like, "No, I've never heard that before." Like, she's super cool. She like totally hooked me up and signed the paperwork, even though I didn't have all my stuff. And she was like, "I shouldn't have even been talking to you if you didn't have all these documents. Like, I'm not even supposed to sit down and talk to you unless you have all of these things." I was like, "Shit." She's like, "Don't worry about it." I was like, "You're awesome. Thank you so much," you know? So like, I don't know. It feels like it's divinely orchestrated because I remember thinking to myself when I was leaving Italy, I was like, you know what? If I have to be at home for 6 months, like I'm cool. I had my time in Italy, like my heart's full, like I was saying before. The second that I was like, you know what? Screw it. It'll happen when it's gonna happen. It happened literally so fast that my nervous system has just been like fried because I'm trying to like process how the fuck I'm gonna sell all my things, sell my car, sell all my clothes, sell everything, and like take three dogs to Italy that have never even, I mean, they're scared of everything and one of them pukes every time they get in the car and like one of them like barks at everybody because she's terrified. She probably has like some kind of like PTSD from being a baby. I don't know what. And, like the other one is just like barking all the time. So like how the fuck am I gonna like do this, you know? But I like I was telling my mom this the other day. It was like, it feels like my higher self or whatever, or like a guardian angel or like something looking after me. Like there's an energy like propelling this forward because I feel like I felt like giving up a few times. To be honest, like I feel like this is just too much for one person to handle, and like maybe I'm just dreaming, or maybe this just isn't possible, or maybe, it's not the right time. Maybe I shouldn't force the issue or whatever. And there's been a lot of doubts, but at the same time, the reason why I'm not freaking out right now, I mean, I've already gone through like totally like a breakdown a couple of times because of the stress of like, oh my God, this is happening, you know? But like now I don't really necessarily feel that afraid because I feel like there's some force or like a higher self or some sort of, I don't know what it is, but something is supporting me in this. It's making things happen. It's opening doors for me where there weren't any doors before. There weren't even windows before. I was like trying to bang down everything. I was like trying to get a job, trying to talk to people, trying to like find all these different ways to make it happen. And I was even looking at like getting residency in France for a while, like moving to Paris just to be able to like be close enough to go to Italy and not have to spend like 10 hours on an airplane, and spend some time in France, maybe live in the UK half the time, and then you live in Italy half the time. Like I've thought about all these different things, doing the Schengen shuffle, if you guys know what that is. and just living off the tourist visa, 3 months here, 3 months there. And I've racked my brain. And that's why I think these videos like might be helpful for people because like if you feel like you're at the end of a rope and you've exhausted all your I don't know, all your avenues for like trying to get things done your way, maybe this information could be helpful for you. So anyway, and I know it's probably going to be different for everybody, but if I can help you in any way, I hope that, that's my intention. So, yeah, let's see. What else do I want to share about this process? So it was a matter of being in the right state of mind, and the timing is just, it's really on right now. Like everything is like green light, green light, green light, go now. Now's the time. Sell your car, get rid of your house. Your roommate's gonna have to like, we're gonna have to have a conversation or like, I don't know, like we're gonna have to figure all this out really fast. And I'm not that afraid because, like I said, I feel like it's just time that like there's something pushing me to go right now. And there's no denying that. There's something going on that's bigger than me, which is pretty crazy to even think about. But yeah. So, what else? Okay, so here's the next thing. So today I decided to do this video because today is the day that I finally have all of my documentation ready to send out. I have all my paperwork. So the very last thing was getting a lease signed with a landlord. I have a 6 month lease. I would like a year lease, but my school is only for 6 months. And you can, when you get to Italy, you register within 8 days as a resident, and then you get your card, which is going to be so fun. Uh, Granted, if this happens, because I still have to accept all my paperwork. But sorry, there's a lot of allergies going on. I think everybody around me got COVID. Not sure if I got COVID there for a little while, but yeah, like sorry about the sniffling. It's everywhere. So today was the day that I got all of my paperwork handled. I just went to UPS and got like all the copies done. And so you have to have 2 copies of everything and I have this big, huge stack of all my papers. And the final thing is to write a letter of intent to the consulate and say like why, and this isn't mandatory, but this is what my school suggested that I do to help my chances of being accepted and getting this visa because I hear it's not in the bag. There's a chance that they can just say no for whatever reason because the bureaucracy makes things extremely fucking difficult, as we know. So, yeah, I just got all my paperwork in the package ready, and now is the letter of intent that I'm gonna write up, go make a couple copies of that, and then I'm gonna send this thing in tomorrow, you guys. I think it's Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025, and I had my meeting in Arizona with the consulate on October 10th, 2025. So it's taken me an extra like 15 days to get the Airbnb. And that's been an entire process, like applying for things and they turn you down for whatever reason. The tenant wants to stay longer, or like, there's just, or like one of them's not available, this other one's available, but it's not in the right neighborhood, or like whatever. So I ended up getting this apartment, which is like in a good neighborhood, and it's really actually really affordable. And there's a couple of things that were really important to me. Like I need to have a room for my dogs because they're a little bit crazy, and if I have people over, they need to have their own space. So like there were apartments that were studio apartments that were affordable in really nice neighborhoods, but they didn't have like the things that I needed. So like it's been just a huge like scavenger hunt, trying to find what is going to work for us in Italy. And so finally, like, was it yesterday or was it the day before? The landlord got back to me. They accepted my down payment. The 2,300 went through. My bank canceled my card twice because they thought it was fraud. And so, like, there's just been like all of the stuff that's been happening to me. But like I said before, it feels like it's divinely orchestrated. So like there's hurdles, but we overcome the hurdles and we get through it. It's stressful, but at the end of the day, it's going to be that much better when we actually do get to Italy, if we get to Italy, um, because of all the trials and tribulations and all the time and energy and craziness that we've had to go through to get there, you know? At least that's what they say. So, yeah. So, and I've been working like nonstop to try to like make extra money to have in savings, like, because I'm gonna have to probably fly multiple times to get my dogs to Italy. It's like three dogs. So I'm like, how am I gonna afford all this stuff? And I just want to give myself a little bit more of a cushion because I've spent like 7 grand, maybe $7,500 on this whole process. And I have my own bills that I have to pay for here, so it's like it's been pretty intense. And family members have come through with options for me to like pay them back. Like I have a down payment on this house that was pretty substantial that um I'm just gonna give to my dad when I move out of here. And so like he gave me the money that we're just gonna do a swap. Like he gave me the money that I have put in this house for the down payment. So like I could liquidify that money like really quickly, which was a freaking miracle. And I'm like super thankful for my dad for coming through. And yeah, so here we are. And what else was I gonna say about this? Yeah, I've been wanting to do other videos about my process and like an update on like what's actually going on with me, but I got COVID like along with everybody else and it's just been so stressful trying to get all these documents together in like 2 weeks, you know. So this is like the first time I actually had a chance to feel like my energy's back and to be able to share. So hopefully I'll be making more videos on this process. There's a lot of sacrifice that I'm going to have to make to be able to go. Like I said, I have to sell my car and I'm upside down in my car. I owe some money on my car that I'm not really going to be able to pay back. And so I need to figure out, I need another miracle and I need another way to figure out how to get my books balanced before I go. But all of that to say, when I send in my paperwork tomorrow to get approved from the Los Angeles consulate, um, it's just going to be a waiting game. I think it's a relatively short waiting game. I think it's about 2 weeks to 3 weeks to get back or to hear back from them. They You send in your physical passport and they like put the visa in your passport and then they send it back to you. So they can reject your application for whatever reason. If you get something wrong, they don't even write what it is. They just like send you your stuff back and you have to like figure out what part you need to change. So, yeah, you guys wish me luck. I'm sending it in tomorrow. I have to write the letter of intention and tell them like that I'm Italian American and my grandfather was born in Palermo and I keep traveling back and forth to Italy and I really want to study and want to perfect my language skills and learn more about the culture and this school is so amazing that I'm going to go to. It's the Leonardo da Vinci Scuola. It's in the heart of ancient Rome and they're going to teach about art history, archaeology, the language. I mean, everything is right there in Rome. It's like Disneyland for a historian, and I'm just so fucking excited. So, wish me luck, guys. That's all for today, and hopefully, I'll be back with another video, and hopefully, I'm gonna have good news for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, keep following me on my journey to get to Roma, Italia. All right, guys, bye. Ciao, ciao.